This is an example of a data sufficiency question. So you have a question here, is P greater than Q? And it will be followed by two statements, statement 1 and statement 2. And there are four answer choices. So you should have a clear idea about what each answer choices mean. For example, option A means that question can be answered using one of the statements alone, but cannot be answered using the other statements. For example, you can answer the question using statement 1 alone, but not by using statement 2 alone. Or it could be the other way around. By using statement 2 alone, you'll be able to answer it, but not by 1 alone. That is what it means by option A. Similarly, option B means the question can be answered by using either statement alone. So that means you will be able to answer the question using statement 1 alone, or you can answer the question by using statement 2 alone. Both are possible. That's what it means by option B. Option C means that question can be answered by using both statements together. That means you need to use or combine both statements to answer the question. If you individually use each statement alone, it's not possible to answer. That's what it means by option C. And option D means that question cannot be answered even if you combine or even if you use both statements, you will not be able to get the answer. In that case, you should mark option D. So you should have a clear idea about what each options represent. So before solving this question, I want you to give you an idea about data sufficiency questions as well as what are the guidelines that you need to follow when you get a data sufficiency question. So data sufficiency question, there are two types. One is it could be a yes or no type question. For example, the question we just saw is an example of yes or no type question. Is X greater than Y, or is age of Rahul is it greater than age of Ram? It could be any time. Like your answer is either a yes or a no. So in these type of question, you should always keep that in mind. You should be able to get a definite yes or a definite no as an answer. Definite yes means in all cases your answer should be yes, or in all cases your answer is a no. So a definite no, keep in mind, a definite no is also an answer. So if you are getting a maybe yes or a maybe no, in some cases you are getting a yes, some cases you are getting a no, that means this is not sufficient. It is not sufficient to answer the question. We are not getting a definite answer. Always keep that in mind. So this is first type of data sufficiency question you can get, yes or no type question. Second type of data sufficiency question you can get is value based questions. What do you mean by value based questions? The question is asking you to find a value. What is the value of X, or what is the value, or what is the age of Rahul after 10 years? So you are expected to find a unique value or a single value. You should be able to get a single value as answer. Very important, single value. If you're getting more than one answer or one value as answer, in that case, it is not sufficient. So remember, more than one value, in that case, it is not sufficient to answer the question. Keep that in mind. So these are the two types of data sufficiency question. So now we're going to discuss about what are the guidelines you need to follow when you solve a data sufficiency question. First step is you should identify the question type. Identify the question type. You should be able to know whether it's a value based question or is it a yes or no type question. That's the first step. ID the question type. Second step is gonna be restructure or reframe. Okay, restructure or reframe the question stem. That is your second step. So try to reframe it in a better way or more comfortable way. Try to simplify it. What they're asked you to find. And before assessing the statements, you should have a clear idea in your mind what kind of information you need to answer the question. So we have some questions coming. So I will show you how to restructure the question stem in that case. Third step that you need to follow is you need to assess the statements individually. That is very important. Individually, you need to assess the statements. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you should always start with statement 1. It's your choice. You can either start with statement 1 or statement 2 based on your preference. Whichever you feel is more convenient or comfortable for you, you can start with that. So try, if you're starting with statement 1, use statement 1 alone. Check whether it's possible to get the answer. Is it a value based question? Are you able to get a single value? If it is a yes or no type question, are you able to get a definite yes or a definite no? If that is done, then you should do statement 2 individually. Or based on the order you select, you do assess the statements individually. Fourth one is combine the statements, combine the statements only if they are individually not sufficient. Okay, combine the statements only if they are individually not sufficient. Otherwise, you should not combine it. There is no need to combine it, because if you are getting the answer by using either one of the statements, why do you need to combine it? So these are the guidelines that you need to follow when you solve any data sufficiency question. Is that part clear for you? So we're going to use these guidelines in this question. Okay, so take a pause, analyze the question stem, identify the question type, try to assess each statement individually, then try to combine it if needed, and see whether you are able to get the answer. So you can pause the video and try to answer this question. Perfect. So let's start by analyzing the question type. What type of question type is it? Is P greater than Q? So they're expecting an answer yes or a no. So basically, this is a yes or no type data sufficiency question. Okay, you should get either a definite yes or a definite no. The question stem is saying, is P greater than Q? So there is nothing like, it's a direct question, right? There is no need to restructure or reframe it. It's a direct statement. Is P greater than Q? That's it. There is nothing you need to do further here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select statement 1 or 2. It's your choice. So I'm going with statement 1 because it's direct and I feel it's more easy to start with statement 1. So I'm going to assess statement 1 individually. Okay. So statement 1 is saying that P into Q is greater than 0. The product of two terms is greater than 0. So what you can conclude from this? When you say the product of two terms is greater than 0 means it's positive, what you can say about P and Q? You can then say that P and Q are positive. Yeah, I agree. P is positive, Q is positive. Is that the only scenario? So remember, whenever you have a product greater than 0, that means one scenario is P is positive, Q is positive. Also, there is one more case. Case 2, that is nothing but P can be negative as well as Q can be negative. In these cases also, you will get the product greater than 0. So we can conclude that from statement 1, they are saying that P and Q are of same sign. Okay, they're of same sign. Keep that in mind. They're of same sign. That's it. So we know that P and Q are of same sign. That's it. So do you think, is it sufficient to answer the question? Do you know anything about the comparison of P and Q? Can I say P is greater than Q? We know, we know that they're just two positive or two negative numbers. We don't know anything about the comparison. So we can clearly say that statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Because I can give you an example. Let's say it could be 3 and 2. So you don't need to even plug in value. But I'm saying that I'm just giving an example, okay? You don't need to. Once you clear that it's not sufficient, that's it. You can move ahead to the statement 2. Let's say P, I'm just giving an example. Let's say P is Q and P is 3 and Q is 2. It could be other way around, right? P can be 2 and Q can be 3. In both cases, see, it's both greater than 0. But we don't know anything about comparison. Here you are getting P is greater than Q. Yes, it's a S here. Here in this case, is P greater than Q? 2, is 2 greater than 3? No. See, you're getting a yes, then a no. You are not getting a definite yes or a definite no. In some case it's yes, some case it's no. So it's a maybe yes, maybe no. In that case, it's not sufficient. So if you eliminate statement, if you figure out that statement 1 is not sufficient, tell me what are the options you can eliminate. Think about it. Out of 4 options, which one you can eliminate? So you can eliminate option B, gone. because option B is saying that question can be answered using either statement alone. Just now I proved that using statement 1 alone is not possible to answer it. So statement B you clearly eliminate right away. Option B you clearly eliminate it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try statement 2 alone. So I'm analyzing statement 2. So statement 2 is saying that P square is greater than Q square. So there is a problem with when you have squares, okay? So for example, 9. See, 9 is a square of 3. 3 square is 9. Also, it can be minus 3. So when you have a square of a number, let's say 9, we don't know whether it's square of 3 or it could be minus 3, right? We don't know the sign of the actual number. That's a problem when you have a square in an inequality. So let's take an example here. Let's try to put some values and analyze it, okay? So let's take, I know that it's going to be 9. P square is 9 is greater than 2 square, let's say 4. I know that 9 is greater than 4, right? P square is 9. This is the value I'm going to plug in. P square is 9 and Q square is 4. What are the actual values you can think about? One is 3 and 2. P and Q could be 3 and 2. 3 square is 9, 2 square is 4. In this case, what is the question asking? Is P greater than Q? What is the answer you're going to get? Is 3 greater than 2? You got a yes. Is it the scenario always it's going to be 3 and 2? No. As I told you before, it could be the sign. We don't have any idea about the sign. For example, it could be like this. Minus 3 and 2. Minus 3 square is 9 and 2 square is 4. In this case, is minus 3 greater than 2? Is it greater? It's no. Or it could be other way around. Minus 3 and minus 2. Minus 3 square is 9. Minus 2 square is also 4. So I'm asking you, is minus 3 greater than minus 2? It's not. Minus 2 is greater. So you're not getting a definite answer. You're getting a yes as well as a no. So clearly I can say that statement 2 alone is also not sufficient. So individually, when you assess both statements individually, it's not sufficient. So option A also you can eliminate. I already eliminated option B. Right now you can eliminate option A as well. So I told you, now it's your time to combine both statements. So only combine the statements if you prove that, or if you already know that individually they are not sufficient, then only you need to combine it. So when you combine both statements, from statement 1, I know that P and Q are of same sign. That means P and Q can be either both positive or it can be both negative. That's it. So statement 2 is saying that P square is greater than Q square. So do you think these two information, is it sufficient to answer it? Because we already discussed a scenario, right? Let's say 3 and 2. I'm just taking P as 3 and Q as 2. What is P square? 9. What is Q square? 4. 9 is greater than 4. But the question is asking, is P greater than Q? What's the answer for that? You are getting 3 is greater than 2, right? You're getting yes. Do you think it's going to be yes always? I'm going to take the same example. You can reuse the example. Okay, you don't need to take the another example. Same sign, right? We discussed about minus 3 and minus 2. Right? Same sign. So when you square it, you have 9 and 4. So 9 is greater than 4, right? But what about minus 3 and minus 2? Is minus 3 greater than minus 2? No. So what's the answer you're getting? You're getting a no. So even if you combine it, you are not getting a definite yes or a definite no. So that's why we can clearly say that your answer is gonna be option D, because question cannot be answered even by using both statements together. So option D is the right answer for this question. So I hope you are all clear with the explanation. What are the guidelines you need to follow when you get a data sufficiency question, and how to assess the statements individually and when to combine both the statements.